Okay, so this first step is just the water-soluble stabilizer, 2 layers, hooped tightly in your hoop. And then I've laid a piece of Mylar over where the stitching area is going to be. And I'm simply going to stitch out the white. And this is going to fill the wing area with the stitches that I need, as well as outline the wings and give them a little bit of detail. We're stitching right through the Mylar, right through the stabilizer. My top thread and my bobbin thread are going to be matched every time I change colors with this project. Now you can see the Mylar here shining through the material. I mean the thread. We're making the material with the thread. And when the Mylar shines through, it gives it a metallic finish, and so it looks really great. You can keep the Mylar in through the whole project, or what I'm going to do, I'm going to tear the Mylar away after the wings are done stitching, and I'll show you how I do that, and then stitch the rest of the bee without any Mylar in it. It's up to you. There's no wrong way to do it. This is just one way to do it. So I'm going to, so you don't have to watch the whole thing stitch through, I'm going to pause this and we'll come back as soon as the wings are all done. Okay, I've got my black thread loaded already, and I've changed the bobbin thread. And we're done with the white stitching for the wings. So here's this little piece of Mylar. It is kind of hard to see, but it's a little bit shiny, so maybe you'll be able to see it good in the video. And I'm simply lifting it up, and because of all the stitching, it's just perforated at the edges, and I can just peel it away. And it peels away quite easily. And I'm going to save this piece and use it on another project because there's a lot of good Mylar left in that piece. And now I'm just going to run the black stitching. And after the black stitching, we have the yellow stitching. Now, every time I change my thread color, I want to make sure that I'm keeping it clean and tidy. So I'm going to trim off that tail from the start. And you want to trim off, if there's a long tail on the back, you want to trim that as well. Just trim it as you go, and it'll be nice and tidy. This step is going to run the legs, the body, the outline, the antennas, and the little loop on the top that you can use as a hanging loop. So it's going to do all of that in this step. My machine says it's got a little bit of time to stitch, so maybe 7 or 8 minutes. And so I'm going to pause this and come back when it's time to change the thread again. Okay, so we're done with the stitching of the black. I've loaded yellow in the top and in the bobbin, and I'm going to go ahead and start stitching the little stripes. So this is the last step. My machine tells me that I only have about 3 minutes of stitching on this little part, and then we are done with the stitching. So we'll just let the bee stripes stitch out, and I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so this is the end of stitching the stripes, and my machine is going to stop and trim the thread at the end, and it tells me that the design is done, and I'm simply going to take it off the hoop. A little motif I was working on here earlier, and now I'm going to remove the embroidery from the hoop, from the stabilizer, and simply trim around the little bee. I'm not getting too close, but I don't want to have to work very hard to wash away the stabilizer, so I'm just trimming just around it. And before I wash out the stabilizer, I am going to trim any of the threads. So these are some of the threads from the start and stops. I'm going to trim them on the front and the back of the bee. This just helps later. So if you leave these threads on, they're going to get kind of gummy and stuck in the gluiness of the stabilizer, which will lend a nice firmness to this bee. But I'm simply going to take him over to the sink, wash out the stabilizer, and then let him dry. I'm going to press all the water out really well with paper towels, and then let him dry. It's relatively warm here today, so I'm probably going to set him outside. As long as he dries flat, I'm happy. If you'd like to, pin him between, put some pins and help him dry flat if he starts to curl up, you totally can do that. But don't rinse out so much of the stabilizer. You really just want to get a quick rinse so that the black area that stabilizer that you can see there is gone, as well as the stabilizer all around the edges. Now, you'll still be able to see the Mylar, so it won't be completely see-through, but you'll be able to tell that this, whitish, fiberish, wash away stabilizer is gone. So just rinse that out really quickly. Warm water will do it faster than cold water. And then we'll be back and I'll show you how I finish mine up. Okay, so my little bee is done and he's ready to be hung. And I've got some fishing line. Of course, fishing line is really hard to see, but this is just plain fishing line that I got at the, the grocery store. And so I'm going to simply loop it through the top opening of my bee. You could use an ornament hook, or you could use yarn or something else. And I'm just simply going to loop it through here. And that holds my bee on. This is like an overhead knot on the bee. It's really hard to focus on invisible string there. But now my fishing line is attached, and I'm going to put a few beads on it. The nice thing about fishing line is that it's easy to thread through the beads, and so I'm simply going to put a few beads on this fishing line just to make the ornament look a little bit cuter. So they've got a little bit of sparkle to them, which is a nice complement to the wings. You can see how the wings, they have that shine, and that is super fun. And then a little sparkle on the beads makes it really nice too. So let's get all these beads on here. I have one that's a little flower. These are just plastic beads from the craft store. Of course, you could get nylon string from the craft store too, but you can put as few or as many as you'd like, and then your sun catcher is ready to enjoy. You can use them as a Christmas ornament. You can hang them in your dashboard. There's just lots and lots of ways. You could even just use them as a gift tag. I guess the bees are she's, because those are the worker bees. So enjoy this little bee sun catcher ornament, and let me know if you have any questions or any issues at all. I'm happy to help. And you can find lots more free-sitting lace ornaments, sun catchers, and other bee-related designs over at the Designs by Babymoon Friends and Fans group on Facebook. And check out the next classes we're going to have at Groms. You can sign up for what is available in person at groms.com, or stay tuned to the Designs by Babymoon Friends and Fans Facebook group. Thanks for watching.